Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to create a memorable brand. Now, as always, there's a few things that a lot of people are missing out on. And I want to make sure that I'm covering them here for you to be able to understand what you can do to make sure that your brand awareness gets out there as much as possible. And there's three key things that we want to make sure that we cover. So before you get stuck into this video, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because as always, I love your support, folks. So please make sure that you do so, and we can keep growing this channel as much as possible. And as always as well, make sure you stick around to the very end of this video, because as always, I've got a super cool gift to be able to share with you. Now, folks, without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So, okay, as I said, we're going to be talking about how to create a memorable brand. Now, as always, there is many a way to do this. However, there are three key things I want to make sure that you are understanding, whether you have a personal brand or a business brand. These three key things are super powerful and important to you to be able to make sure you grow your awareness, to make sure that you build on your connections, and equally to make sure that your message gets out there in the best possible kind of a way, right? So, number one, you've probably guessed what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say it anyway, and it's okay because it's super important, and I repeat it for a very, very good reason, because the more and more I repeat it, is the more and more you're going to remember it. And there's a reason why I've just said that phrase, and I'll share with you a little bit more shortly. However, yeah, you need to understand what your VPV is, right? And when you understand what your VPV is, you get to understand this key part, which is what you want to be known for, right? For me, I always want to be known for the type of person or the type of brand that makes sure that not only my clients get seen, not only all those who come across my path get seen, but equally that this message gets shared. And my message to you and to anybody listening to me or working with me is to always understand that you are more than what you see. And there's a reason for that. And I'll tell you in another video where I actually get to share my story a little bit more. And I'll show you, I've actually spoken before about the reason why brand story is actually super important. But for the purpose of right here, right now, I want to just let you know that what I want to be known for is specifically for that phrase, right? And more importantly, that I can help you with your brand. And more importantly, I can help you to get noticed, to make sure that you are standing out above your competition, but in a way that not necessarily is about looking pretty. It's all about making sure that you're doing something that is congruent to you, your beliefs, and your values. Sometimes it's not pretty, right? However, it's not about just making sure that the outside is very glamorous. It's about consistency. It's about making sure that the form matches who you are. And it's about making sure that you are not that typical person. That typical person. Let's not do that. Let's make sure that you are getting noticed, but in a way that is actually congruent to you and your brand, and in a way that is actually congruent to you, your beliefs, and your values. Think about that part. What is it that you want people to say about you behind your back in a good kind of a way? How do you want them to talk about you? So what do you want to be known for? The second thing that I want to make sure that you're thinking about is the idea of when you're showing up. So when it comes to how to create a memorable brand, show up in spaces that are actually, again, congruent to you and your brand, your beliefs, your values, all that kind of stuff, the purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. Because when you're showing up in specific places, your audience, or even their audience, or even the places that you're showing up is audiences, they're going to start to resonate with you because they get it, because they get your values, they get the reason why you do what you do, because they share the same beliefs, right? So when you understand what your beliefs are, this is why I stress to you guys it so much, that understanding what your VPV is, more importantly, what your values are, is because of this little aspect right here. I say little, it's a huge aspect. And I know I've said that a couple of times, but it really is a huge aspect, because although it is a small thing, it has an amazing impact that will take your business, your brand even further, that will allow the awareness of it to grow even more so, right? So think about what that is for yourself, or where it is that you can actually show up more. And it's something that I've even experienced super results in, because when I've showed up in spaces that are actually congruent to my beliefs, I've seen the results, versus when I've showed up in spaces that aren't necessarily aligning with all my beliefs, you know? So I've seen the results. I see what the difference is. And I want you guys to think about the same. What is the difference between the beliefs that are kind of there versus the beliefs that are really, really there, you know? The messages that you get to share have a better pull in the one that actually resonates with you and your beliefs. Think about that. The third thing. So now we've covered the idea of what you want to be known for and the spaces that you've got to show up in. What are you saying now, right? Think about when you are being known for what you're known for, the idea of showing up in specific spaces and so forth. And I've sort of given you hints along the way as to what this third thing is. When you understand what this third thing is for yourself, for your business, for the reason why you do what you do, right? You stand all the more stronger. You stand and speak with clarity, all because you've understood what your message is. So what is your message? What is the message that you want to make sure gets shared within your audience? You've already heard my message, well, part of my message, which is the reason why I want to make sure that you see that you are more than what you see, right? And again, I'll be able to share exactly why in a whole nother video talking about my story, but equally the reason why your story is super important, especially for you and your brand, right? When you know what that message is, this is how you start making those better connections with people. This is how you start relating with your audience on a more human kind of a level. You know, I've spoken about the idea of, you know, what's your human point versus what's your unique selling point, right? What's your unique human point? And when I heard that phrase, I remember being on an audio platform talking and literally somebody else shared this, right? The idea of your human point is super important to be able to understand what that is, because people buy from human, right? It's not all automated. It's all about humans, right? So we want to make sure that we are being resonated with on a human level, with our authenticity, with the reasons why we do what we do. We share these stories, we share this message so that other people can get to understand it and know it. So when you're trying to create a memorable brand, you repeat it. Remember, I said this before. When you repeat these things, and this is something I've shared in another video as well, but when you repeat these things, you start building on your reputation. So I want to share with you this particular phrase as well. The idea of repetition equals reputation. And I'll say that again, repetition equals reputation. And specifically, I want you guys to remember it now, right? Repeat it to yourself. And that phrase, when I first heard it as well, that phrase resonated with me so much. And it goes across all boards, from your brand assets to all the things that you are doing, showing up in specific spaces, to what you want to be known for, and equally the reason why people buy from you. When you literally touch base on all of those aspects, things change. But things change for the better. And things change because you are now growing and elevating within your brand to be able to understand, or to help others to understand, that this is why you do what you do. Right. And now this is what you want to be known for, because others naturally start believing these aspects for you. And they start talking about you because of that reason. Folks, I cannot stress to you enough. When you start addressing these things, when you start really homing in on what they are for you and your brand, business brand or personal brand, it gets covered and it is all congruent to each and every one of you for whatever reason why you do what you do. So really resonate with that and really think about what that is for yourself. And go ahead and share this video, because there are more businesses out there who definitely need this information, because I'm seeing it more and more, sadly, and I'm seeing it more and more and more in the sense where they're not paying attention. And these are things that we need to pay attention with, so that we can grow, so that we can get noticed, so that we can get seen, so that we can make sure our businesses, our brands, get the recognition and the reputation, the good reputation that it deserves. So there we go. Folks, I'm going to leave it there. And as always, please go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go ahead and download my guide, which is my gift from me to you. And within this guide, that's attached to the link in the description box below, you're going to find not only some details that we'll be needing from you in order to be able to share this information with you, but you're going to find super amazing ways to be able to understand you and your brand even better, right? to be able to understand how you can make those better connections with the right kind of people, with the people that you actually want to work with, not that you feel that you have to work with, that part. But equally also understand how you can actually share that message, what your message in fact is, and how to actually discover what it is. So go ahead and download that guide. Let me know your thoughts in it. Please go ahead and give me some feedback, because I'm always thinking that, you know what, there's superpower in the feedback that you get. So please go ahead and share that with me. Folks, as always, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you on the other side.